If you have a histamine issue, don't do this. Hey guys, Henry here from Carnivore Capers. Turns out I actually have a histamine intolerance. And I discovered that, well, apparently there's several symptoms that I wasn't aware of until I started displaying one particular symptom. And if you want to find out a bit more about that, stick around to the end. Okay, now, with the symptoms that I've had that tell me that I have a histamine issue, is that, one, I have hypothyroidism. I've had hypothyroidism for years. Where hypothyroidism is an overactive thyroid. And it's called Graves' disease. And what happens is your autoimmune system kicks in, and when it starts causing the thyroid to produce too much thyroid hormone. So it causes it to go out throughout your body and speeds up your metabolism. For some people who've got slow metabolism, they'll go, yes, please, bring it on. No, you don't want it because it can actually cause heart palpitations, which can then hospitalize you or even cause stroke. So you don't want that. So what we need to do is also, there's other symptoms as well. Things like psoriasis. You can see on my elbow just here, there's psoriasis on my elbow. There's psoriasis in my hair and under my beard. There's also other symptoms as well. And I found out, much to my dismay, that if you have things that are high in histamine, it can actually flare these things up and also make matters worse for you. In my last video, I created a carnivore lasagna, and in it I put some, believe it or not, bone broth. Now, it was lamb bone broth, but it was still really good bone broth. And unfortunately, I found out that bone broth is high in histamine. Now, if you have a histamine intolerance, then chances are you probably shouldn't be drinking any kind of bone broth because it is high in histamine. And unfortunately, it is something that we all want. We all want to have bone broth for our meals. If we're creating something, we want to put bone broth as a way to moisten it up, to give it that extra oomph and a bit of extra flavor. But unfortunately, what it does to me, when I had a little bit of my meal last night, I started feeling a bit nauseous. I'd noticed that I'd felt nauseous when I had a cup of bone broth, and I just thought it was just my body just getting used to it or something. But then it happened all the time. Every time I had any kind of bone broth, I'd begin to feel nauseous. So I stopped drinking it, to be perfectly honest, because I was like, oh, I can't stomach this. So in the end, my wife gave me some bone broth that she'd made. I went, excellent. So I brought it downstairs, and that's what I put into the meal last night. As soon as I took one bite of that meal, I regretted it. It's like within the first couple of minutes, I started feeling nauseous, and I'm going, oh, that's not good. I mean, I ate the first bite, which was fine. Then I had a few more bites of it, and then all of a sudden, it started kicking in. And then I started really going, oh, well, that's not cool. So, if you are suffering with any kind of histamine intolerance, then I would strongly suggest try to avoid. Now, I'm not a doctor, I'm not giving you medical advice, but just for your own precaution, maybe don't use bone broth. Look, if you can drink bone broth or you can have bone broth and it doesn't cause you nausea and doesn't flare your other symptoms up, then go for it. Do whatever you like. It's your call. It's your body. Do what you want. But if you're anything like me and you start drinking bone broth and all of a sudden you start feeling nauseous afterwards, probably not a good sign. It probably means you have a histamine intolerance because your autoimmune system is kicking in and trying to fight all the things that are in your body, and it's not good. So I noticed that when I just had things like steak or liver or anything like that, mince, all that kind of jazz, it's fine. That's because the carnivore diet is without bone broth is technically really, really low in histamine. But as soon as you add bone broth to the mix, it starts increasing the amount of histamine that you have in your body. So just be aware that if you do happen to have any issues with bone broth, then I might suggest maybe don't take it. Don't drink it. Don't put it into your body. Don't put it into your food. Which means you might have to just substitute some of that liquid for water. Unfortunately, and maybe stock powder or something like that, because I don't think stock powder has as much histamine in it. So you might want to use stock powder instead. And I just want to let you know, give you a little bit of an update for today and explain to you what I'm going to be having to do now. That is give up bone broth. Yeah, it's not cool because I like the taste. It improves the flavor of the food. But it's also making me feel sick. So I'm going to be putting my second lasagna that I made, I'm going to have to put that in the freezer for a little bit later on down the track, and maybe try it out a little bit further on down the track after I have weaned myself completely off all the histamine flaring up products like that. So I'll still have cooked some really nice meals, but I just won't use bone broth in it. I'll probably just use stock powder and water instead. Oh no, by the way, if you like this video, please consider smashing the like button, as well as subscribing and also hitting the bell icon so you can be notified when we upload more videos. Hey, while you're at it, want to consider sharing, and also leave a comment down below and let me know what you think. Let me know, do you have any of these kind of intolerances? Or do you have other areas which you struggle with? Or do you have other areas you're actually having wins in? And did you find that giving up bone broth helped you and then you could go back on it? Please let me know all this information, because I'm still really new to this and I'm still learning. Now also to let you know, right here is a video I believe you might like. Down here is a video YouTube thinks you might like. Right here is an image of my head. Now if you click on that, you'll be able to subscribe. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, and bye for now.